The Knicks close out 2024 in style, blowing out the Wizards here in the nation's capital, 126-106. Hi, everyone. I'm Bill Pito. Great to have you with us. So, unlike Saturday night when it was a close first half and the Knicks needed overtime to prevail over the Wizards tonight, the Knicks were dominant in the second half. They led the game by only 2 after the first 2 quarters of play, but then blew out Washington in the second half to come away with a 20-point win. So you put all the good things together. The Knicks have won 8 in a row. They've won 8 in a row on the road. That ties for the second best run on the road in franchise history. They're 18-4 in their last 22. And if you look at the standings, they're now only a half game behind idle Boston for the second spot in the Eastern Conference. And if you want to take 2024 from beginning to end, not counting the playoffs, 83 games for the Knicks, and they go 56-27 in calendar year 2024. Their next game will be on New Year's night against Utah at home. So here's your game summary with the Knicks shooting 46% from the floor. In the first quarter, they went only 1 of 10 from downtown. Got better in that category as the game went on. Free throw shooting again, an advantage for the Knicks. They won the rebounding battle, outscored off the bench, but that was irrelevant because the Knicks starting 5 tonight was dominant, led by the triple-double from Josh Hart, 23, 15, and 10. For more now, let's go to Mike and Alan, guys.
All right, Billy, you can't emphasize enough a 13-6 road record. Granted, again, the schedule hasn't been that difficult, especially, 2 games against Washington and Orlando team. It doesn't matter in terms of, especially on the road. That makes such a difference to have that type of record on the road.
You want to stack as many wins as you can, and that's what you have to do. You take what the schedule certainly gives you, and that's what the Knicks do. But, what you love is just their approach. It's something that Tom Thibodeau talked about before this game as well, is that you're approaching these games not saying, we don't have to try hard in this game. We're going to beat this team if we just roll the balls out. And that's not the truth in the NBA. And it's what Josh Hart said to Bill Pito at the end. It takes us a while to wake up, but we always do. And in that second half, they certainly did, and they held the Wizards to 18 points in that fourth quarter. They did what they had to do to get the win, and that's all you care about at this point of the season.
Josh Hart, when he first acquired by the Knicks, there was so much talk about all the intangibles, and he brings all those intangibles every night. But it's so much more than intangibles. It's real-life production in every category. He's gone up from last year. His spirit on this team is so invaluable.
His impact on any part of the game that you need him to impact. That's what you love about him, the willingness to say, against San Antonio, I had to dive for loose balls to save the game. In the game, even on Saturday night, I had to get some rebounds late to get us going. In this game, I had to start scoring in the second quarter, knock down a couple of threes, just get the lid off the rim and get us moving. And then later on, he became more of the willing passer. And that's, of course, something he's always been. That's how you get triple-doubles, because you do a little bit of everything. And that's exactly what he brings to this team, and it's what he brought tonight.
And again, when the Knicks were struggling a little bit in that second quarter, he changed the tone of the game, and it made an enormous difference for how the Knicks were able to get some kind of momentum. Meanwhile, you look at Karl-Anthony Towns, and the other night he had, I think it was 30 and 14. Tonight he has 32 and 13, and he's not the headliner. That shows you how good he has become, and it's almost expectations of what you're going to get from him every night.
It is amazing that he's the second part of the story, because on Saturday night he had 30, and the part of the story was Jalen Brunson's 55. Tonight it's Josh Hart's triple-double, but then you just say, oh, by the way, Karl-Anthony Towns just put up another epic performance, and it's really what he does is a little bit of everything. I love the fact that we saw stuff like this, where he got out on the break and got himself going, moving, just dunking the basketball, not as much reliant on the three-point shot as he was. He took the game into the paint, and he let the youngster know this is how you have to do it at the NBA level. Towns remembers what it's like to be the young guy, and he took it out on the young guy in Alex Starr in this game and over this weekend with a couple of 30-point performances.
We've talked about surprises that we've seen from him when you see him night in, night out. I don't know if it's a surprise, but he's on the offensive end. He loves the contact. Yep. It almost fires him up.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, too, I think he loves the matchups. He's going up against maybe a young player, or again, I mentioned Christmas Day, Wembanyama. He was up for that one. He got into foul trouble, but throughout that game, he was up for it. He's okay, let's see what you got, kid. Even when it's somebody like Mo Wagner who's bumping him and banging him and just trying to get him going, he likes that too. Let me take you down in the paint. You want to see how it is to trade paint? Let's do it on the block. That's, again, what we're learning about Karl-Anthony Towns. And in this game, as I mentioned, yes, okay, so he didn't make a three in this game. He only took three. He took it into the paint, took it into the post. The skinny 19-year-old got a lesson tonight.
Another great team win for the Knicks, and doing it on the road once again as we go to our teammate, the wonderful Bill Pito.
Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate it. When Mike Green gives you kind words like that, you got to take it and run with it, because often that is not the case. Of course, all in fun. Meantime, Cat now has 11 games this year with at least 30. Last year, all year, he had only 5. And you guys were talking about Josh Hart in that second quarter. 17 second quarter points for Hart. That is tied for the most he's ever scored in a single quarter. Knicks prevailed by 20.